Hi, Team Race to Serve. This is Karen Fair. Welcome to our team huddle. It's October 14, 2019. It's been some time since we've had a huddle and a chance to see each other's faces, like actually you guys getting to see each other. I know we've done a lot of live trainings on Facebook lately, but I have missed this. So if you are new to kind of what's happening in the life of our team, we have transitioned to 2 calls a month. One call is a team huddle / a little training, and then one call is a guest speaker. And y'all, I just booked our guest speaker, and I cannot wait. So put this right now, get pen and paper. Monday, October 28th. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I have invited Courtney Foster. If you don't know her, she is, I think, on Instagram. If you want to start kind of following her and getting to know a bit of her story, she is known as Fit in Freedom. That's her Instagram handle. She is just the most beautiful woman of the Lord, and very new to coaching, I think just about a year, and her business has just absolutely bloomed this year. And I got to see Caroline Foster, you guys know her as Fit for His Glory, just shout her out a lot. And so I started to kind of just see what she's doing and who she is, and just fell in love with her heart and just the way that she is so authentically who she is, knowing exactly her purpose in this network and where God wants her, and just committed to that narrow road that He has her on. And so I asked her, I said, if you could say one thing that really drove your business forward this year, what would it be? And she just said 100% the way I started connecting with people. And so that's going to be the heart of what she shares about. And I think that this is going to be so perfect because every coach in every season will benefit from a more in-depth look and maybe a new perspective on the power and the momentum that truly does come from genuine, authentic, intentional connections and relationships. And when you see her and you follow her, you can just tell that she is that person that you just immediately are drawn to. And she's just beautiful. So October 28th, make sure you have it on your calendar. For tonight, the goal of this call and huddle is just for me to kind of share with you guys a bit about where I am, but also challenge you to ask some of the questions I've been asking myself lately. And then at the end, we'll do an actual huddle where we'll get to chat and check in with one another. And so if you're catching this replay, you can decide at the end if you want to keep listening to the huddle part. I encourage you to, but I'll let you know when we kind of make that shift. So as you guys know, I kind of shared a little bit in the team page when I did just a long post instead of a video, just kind of sharing with you guys how I'm coming back to life a little bit in terms of this business. I'm 4 years in, and I kind of hit a wall in 2019. This has been a rocky year for me in every imaginable way. And I'm not shocked because my word for the year was rock. And so I think Jesus is just funny because He's like, okay, so you think we're just going to move up, but no, we're going to tear every single area of your life down because nothing is on rock. And we're going to start it back up. And you think I would know this from January, but it just came to me now in October that this has been my problem. The problem is that everything, my business, my marriage, my parenting, everything has been on a mix of sand and rock. As a lot of you know, I went to Narrow. Let me just say, I want y'all at Summit, 100% want you at Summit in July for Beachbody. But if you had to pick one, I want you at Narrow in 2020. If you had to choose between Summit and Narrow. If you can come to both, come to both. But if you can only choose one, choose Narrow. Because you can always find Beachbody trainings everywhere. This is different. And I went into Narrow very broken, angry, lost, frustrated, and desperately asking God for a diagnosis to my problem. What is my problem? And asked Him to be very loud and very clear, and He was. Because literally the next day after bawling, just breaking down with Patrice and Laura and Alicia, the next day one of the speakers got up and said, I'm ready to, I'm here to give you a diagnosis this morning. And I was just like, wow, I've never heard a prayer answered so fast in my life. And so He moved, He spoke, and I'm coming back. Was super tempted to jump right back into routine because that's who I am. I thrive on routine, back to the normal grind of posting, stories, all the things, and got very quickly shut that down first thing this morning. For the first time ever, I got up at 5. I haven't gotten up at 5 a.m. in months. I've been snoozing a lot. And I started a book called Breathing Room by Sandra Stanley, who is one of the speakers. And she clearly, God used her exact words to get to the root of my issue with Beachbody, because it's not Beachbody, it's a Karen problem. And so that's kind of where I am kind of fasting social media, which seems to be total business sabotage. We know the power of sharing our story and documenting our journey. Please continue to document your journeys. I'm not sharing any of this for you guys to replicate anything, because if it is not a God-driven decision, you are sabotaging your business. But when God is the one that is writing something like this, I fully trust that he can sustain my business when I'm trying to get my heart right and my family right. And so I'm not stopping any work. You guys, if you're in the Hobby Coach thread, you're seeing my work. I'm still here, still working. I think I have 4 or 5 people coming to the Coach Sneak Peek this week. I think it's hilarious that we have a Coach Sneak Peek finally this week, and I can't promote it. So, it's just like ironic, everything that God is doing here. So I am kind of taking a step back, because what I have discovered for me is that the main diagnosis that we hit on this weekend was the fear of man. How often do we allow people's opinions of us, not just people pleasing, but the fear of missing out, the fear of not mattering, the fear of falling behind, and the fear of disappointing people to drive our decisions. And I did not realize how much my stories, not so much posting, regular posting hasn't been an issue, but stories, how much my stories went from being God-led and to being posting to post, to be a production queen. And what I realized was that I was, constantly sharing about my faith, my fitness, my business, my family, but truly in many ways I was cheating God, and I was cheating my family, and even cheating my fitness a little bit, constantly focusing on trying to record things rather than just getting the workout done the best that I can. And so I realized I'm going to cheat social media right now. If I'm going to choose to cheat something, it's going to be social media. I need to be okay with doing everything normal, just not sharing any bit of it, because I don't need their approval. I don't need their eyes. I don't need anything that people say to define who I am or what I do. It's for God's eyes only right now. Will he call me back? I believe so. But I believe that when he does call me back, it will look different. That's my prayer. And that everything that I share will not be for the sake of sharing, and it will not be because I'm afraid of not being relevant. I'm not afraid of not mattering. I'm not afraid of falling behind. It will just simply because he asked me to. And there was a time I did that. So anyway, that's kind of where I am. But I want to take you to a different space with your business today. When I hit a wall with Beachbody and everything felt like obligation, you might think this is kind of insane for your upline and your leader to tell you that I've been struggling. I've been tempted to quit more times than I can count this year. And every time I let my mind almost go there, I am talking like people who prophesy, everything that God could do to keep me from doing that, he did. So, you know how some people struggle with obedience because they want to jump into something? For me, it's been obedience to stay in something. So it's been a very different kind of struggle. It's nothing, again, I still do all the work. It's nothing with Beachbody. I don't know what my problem has been, because again, it's been a Karen issue. But I did nail it down by the end of the weekend. And to be honest, I lost my coach purpose. So I want you to write that down. What is my coach purpose? Something that James Myers, who's Michelle Myers' husband, wrote was the My Life Purpose Guide. This was at Narrow last year, but I didn't feel like it was relevant to me. This year, I came I don't know who I am, where I am, or what I'm doing. So I went up to James and I was like, this year, I need this. He's hilarious. And so I'm truly on my knees at this point every day, because I want to know my life purpose, because I do believe that the minute that the Bible says that God has plans for your life. That's Jeremiah 29:11. And once you give your life to Jesus, he gives you a purpose. That's Philippians 2:13. That's a promise, and spiritual gifts to accomplish his will on earth. And so I've lost my life purpose, and part of my life purpose includes the hat of my coach purpose, my purpose as a Beachbody coach here. And I lost it. So what happens when you lose a why, but you're still operating on goals and on systems and habits? You still do them, but the heart isn't in it. The vision isn't present. And so you start to feel entitled because there's lack of results. You start to be discontent. You start to be resentful. You start to be bitter. And so it's incredible to me. Like, I've always preached importance of vision, but I have lived lack of vision for a few months. And never ever doubt the power of a vision for your health journey, for your business, and for your entire life with Jesus. There has to be a vision. And Jesus is no exception. He is the most beautiful example of a vision. If you look at Jesus' life in Luke 19, 1-10, this is where he met Zacchaeus, right? Little man in a tree. And I'm not going to read the whole story, but what you need to know is that toward the end, it says that he was trying to find Jesus. He saw that he was coming. There was a huge crowd, so he goes up a tree. And Jesus looked up, and he said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I need to stay at your house today. So he hurried, came down, received Jesus joyfully. And when other people saw what he was doing, they got mad and grumbled because he went to sit in the man of a sinner's home, right? And Zacchaeus stood, and he said to the Lord, I'm going to give away half of all my goods to the poor. And if I've cheated anybody or defrauded anybody, I'm going to restore it fourfold. And Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, since he is also son of Abraham. For the Son of Man, listen, came to seek and save the lost. Jesus had a life purpose. He had a mission statement to seek and save the lost. So what actions or activities from that passage support Jesus' purpose statement? That he sought and pursued Zacchaeus, that he went into his home, and that he gave him salvation, right? What resistance did Jesus meet to fulfill that purpose? Other people's opinions of who should be saved and given time and grace, lack of approval from man, right? He met tons of resistance. What difference did clarity and purpose make in Jesus' life and ministry? That he was always intentional, driven by compassion. It kept him grounded when he met resistance. It kept him focused, right? So what difference can clarity and purpose make in our life? If Jesus had a mission statement, because there's a lot of people today that have mission statements but don't live by them, don't care about them. Do you have your beach body mission statement? If you want to focus on a life purpose, you need to get this. We're not talking about this right now. We're talking about your coach purpose. We're going to narrow it down to this specific role, this specific hat. What is your beach body purpose? Your coach purpose. Do you have a mission statement? Jesus to seek and save the lost. That helped him push past excuses, helped him push past his preference, helped him push past resistance and suffering and struggles. Sisters, when we get like 5 no's, we get discouraged and are ready to quit. We don't have a mission statement. And so how quickly I was wavered this year, that's what it revealed. I don't have a mission statement, and I've lost my purpose and my vision. His purpose for me. I've started coming up with some of my own, which is where entitlement got a little dangerous. That he needed to completely break my Beachbody foundation again. In so many ways, I feel like I'm starting over. So many ways. I have yet to hit any kind of successful points this month. That is uncommon to me, right? Last month did not hit 10. That's been an ongoing streak for over 2 years. And I'm not even bitter or upset about any of them. I'm just paying attention to my pattern, to where he's going and what's happening. That he is breaking my foundation because somewhere along the way, the rock became sand and I lost his vision for Beachbody. I started to get caught up in, well, her vision is this, and that person's mission statement is that. So I started to nitpick their mission statements, trying to create my own, rather than falling on my knees and saying, what is your mission statement for me here? I don't need, like, if I'm going to pursue rank advancement, if I'm going to have income goals, if I'm going to have any of that, that's not a problem. It's a problem when I don't have a vision given by God. And so you can't pursue goals without having a vision given by him to you, a mission statement God ordained for you. Because sister, you're here for a reason. You're on this team for a reason. I believe that, and I receive that as me saying it to myself. We belong here, but we will always feel like we don't when pride is in the way. And pride is not just high esteem, it's low esteem. Pride isn't just you boasting in how awesome you are. Pride is you being all consumed by how not good enough you are. You're still thinking all about you. So Pastor Bruce Frank said, he said, it's not about high esteem or low esteem. Let's make it our goal to have no esteem. And I was like, this seems so much easier said than done. But I agree. What is no esteem? We're like, you just know that you are called by God, that you are his, that he defines you, and the cross is the best and most awesome affirmation you will ever need, and therefore you have no esteem. Like, you hit Success Club, you don't, no esteem. You hit 5-star diamond, you're still an emerald, no esteem. What would that look like if every day we just show up because we're called and we want to truly be focused more on obedience, like delightful obedience, than a specific outcome? And I so much so believe this that I'm letting go of what seems to be a very crucial part of my business, sharing. Because I don't want to share anymore without making sure I hear his vision for me again. I can't, right? So with all of that said, where are you right now in your business? Have you ever sat down and invited God into writing a coach mission statement? Karen is here to blank, right? What is your Beachbody coach purpose? And the goal that mission statement should not have anything about rank. It shouldn't have anything about Success Club. It should be driven by what impact are you here to make? And this is going to take some time. I don't think any of you can maybe write this in one night. You need to literally invite him into that. Because what I can promise you, when I look at Jesus, because what better example do we have? Once it's a clear mission statement and it's written like with us and God talking together, you will never be shaken again in this business. You will do it with joy again, not because of the circumstance, but because of him, that you get to partner with him here. And slowly he's reminding me what a blessing this business really is. I've been so focused on what is not happening that I've lost joy in just the fact that I get to call this job, my job, this job that I get to literally love on women, connect with them, see how they're doing. If I've got a resource that meets them, I can supply it. If they're looking to start a business and fitness could be a sweet spot, I can give that. And just like rally all these women up into this ministry, right? And so what is your mission statement? I'm going to share my screen for a quick second. Michelle and Summer closed out Narrow with these questions. And listen, if you're here tonight, whether you are a hobby coach or a reactive coach, wherever you are, these questions are going to bless you. And this whole discussion is going to bless you. Because if maybe Beachbody is a discount thing right now, you can still ask yourself, what is my life purpose? Okay. But I am going to share my screen. Toward the end of the conference, they had us sit down and ask 7 questions. And these 7 questions were where I got my fire back a bit, because I started to realize that this is where I was lacking some clarity. So let me just pull it up. And I encourage you to write these down. Okay. All right. So we already talked about that. So 7 questions. Let me just move you guys away. For that kingdom-minded workers must answer. It's going to keep doing that. Number 1, why am I here? Okay. Why are you at Beachbody? If any of you have been tempted to quit, why haven't you? Like, this is going to sound like a really funny question. When I was I'm still a therapist, but when I was working in mental health and I was doing suicidal evaluations, like talking with people who had plans to kill themselves, people always thought I was strange because I would just look at them. I had no weird reaction, and I'd just be like, okay, so why haven't you killed yourself? and the person would look at me like, do you want me to kill myself? And I'm like, no, but just why didn't you? You could have. You have the plan, you have the tools. Like, what's the problem? What's stopping you? Like, what is the issue here? But it's the same question here, because obviously that led them to see their why, right? Why are you here? Why are you a Beachbody coach? What kind of a difference do you want to make here? Why has God called you here? Again, this is vision. This is an important question. Why? What is your role here? What was, when you first said yes to this, did you have a burden? Did you have a heart for something that you knew this platform could allow you to speak to this specific area, to make a difference in this specific area? Why are you here? Question number 2, how do I behave here as a coach? And this is an important question as you're also developing a team mission for your future team. How do we behave as a team? What is our team culture? Are we known as women of integrity? Do we uphold integrity? Do we behave with, do we make honorable decisions? Are we honoring God with our decisions? Are we committed women or just interested? Do we behave with respect, kindness, compassion, right? How do we behave? This is it's more of a relevant question, I think, when you do have like an organization you're leading. This helps you know how to recruit. So if you're interviewing someone to be a Beachbody coach on your team, and you can already tell that the way they live their life does not align by how team blah, blah, blah behaves, this is a good indication that they're probably not the right fit for your team. So for me, I do look for a very specific woman that she cares about people more than she cares about a paycheck. Right? That she is a woman of integrity, that she's a hard worker, willing to work hard because this business isn't easy. So again, think about this. How do I behave? And are you modeling that for your future team? Okay. Number 3, what do I do? So this is really important. This kind of gets to the action stuff. So you've got the vision. Okay. You have the culture. How do we behave? And then what is your actual job description? Like if you were to recruit a coach and they said, can you just give me a list of a job description? What do I actually do every day? What do you do every day? You say you could put the vitals here. You connect with people. Maybe you run groups and communities that are safe spaces for people to experience transformation and their health accountability and using the tools they invested in. Invitation. What do? You build a team. So you're not only, leading clients, but you're here to also build an organization and a team of women that are also influencers here, right? They make a difference. So what do I actually do? What are my responsibilities as a coach to be fruitful here and do my part? Number 4, how do I define success? Vital. How do I define success as a Beachbody coach? Michelle did a beautiful job spending some time here and teaching us the difference between gazing. It's like that word sounds really good, but it doesn't sound right. Gazing and glancing. Okay, so she said, when it comes to the numerical stuff, and so for us, this would be rank, it would be income, it would be volume. 3 areas of numerics, tangible. These are the things we should be glancing at, but not gazing at, right? We should be gazing at the relationships formed, transformation stories, lives that are truly impacted. And so maybe today you simply define success, even if you've made no sales, but that you had 3 deep, authentic conversations where you truly feel like you left that person better off than before they talked to you. Or maybe you just made like really solid connections that these could be potential people that join. But how do you define success on a daily basis? And again, Success Club rank and volume should be a part of success, but they're not where you gaze. But you have to glance at them, because if you're never hitting Success Club, your volume never goes above 50, and you never rank advance. No coaches are coming on your team. There is something we need to look at here. There's an issue, right? But we glance at it to help us grow, but we can't gaze at those things because then we're missing out on other ways to define success. It's just like 2B Mindset friends. It's just like we've got to glance at the scale, but we don't gaze at it, okay? We gaze at the activities we're responsible for with our nutrition. Water first, veggies most, stale, tracking, plate it method. That's where we gaze to define success. Obedience, right? Not, choosing to run to God over food, successful day. Even if I didn't gain any weight or lose any weight, that was still. So we have to glance at the numerics, but we don't gaze at them. So make sure that you actually know how you define success for yourself, because I can guarantee you that every coach here defines success differently, and that's okay. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to take on my definition of success, but you need to know yours and you need to tell me yours so I know how to mentor you. So if you say, Karen, for the month of October, this is how I'm defining success, I can hold you accountable to your definition, right? And that may change from month to month. Number 5, what is most important right now? So right now, my Instagram stories are not what is most important. What is most important to me right now is uninterrupted time with the Lord, that my family is never cheated again and never gets my leftovers, and that every conversation I have behind the scenes is very intentional. It is important to me right now that I prioritize phone calls again. It is important to me right now that I up the value of face-to-face time with people again in terms of business, like actually doing my business face-to-face again. And so right now in this season, there are some things that are less important and some things that are most important. You may be in a season, I'm going to shout out Beth for a second, mommy life. Some things are just different right now. What is most important? Beachbody's not up here right now, right? There's a whole, because having a baby is not just having a baby. This now includes a list of 15 new things that you never had before in your day. So there are going to be some shifts in priority, and that's okay. So for the months to come, you define success differently, because in the season you're in, some things are a little bit more important, and that's okay. And so that's why they all kind of flow together if you start to notice these questions. Who else is needed and who must do what? Again, this was kind of, these questions were targeted to big organizations, so learning about teamwork here, because obviously God does not call us to do anything alone. And so part of why I have you guys, and I hope you guys have your teams, is because we're better together, and we can't lead by ourselves. That's not leadership. Leadership is when other people are leading too. And so this becomes an actual team ministry. So for me to succeed, whether it's to hit emerald or diamond, who else is needed, right? For me to have a group of 10 women in 2B Mindset, do I need their help for referrals? Who must do what? You need to start clarifying roles, because not everything is going to be on you. You need to pay attention to how other people might be needed for your business. There are times I call out on you guys to lead trainings. I can't do everything, right? Who else is needed? Who must do what? Delegation is important. I have Abby, who's my administrative assistant. I need her to do all of our recognition slides. I don't have time. She takes an hour every day to do those slides. So, or an hour once a week to do those slides for me. I don't have time for that. So I need her. There may become a time where you say, you know what, Karen, I'm in a season where Beachbody, I'm struggling to give it time because I feel like I'm spending all this time on housework. Well, who else is needed? Do you need to delegate and hire somebody to clean your house once every other week? It's money, but guess what? That's time you get to put back in your business that can make it fruitful and help, right? So who else is needed? And lastly, what am I asking God to do here? This question has a lot of different implications, but I know for me, I'm just asking God to show me my purpose, to keep me sensitive to his voice and his way of leadership. Every season you're in with this business, you're going to ask God for different ways to move. So what are you asking God to do in this season for your business? Because you should need him. If you don't need God at all for your business, there's a problem. Right now, I need him to sustain my business while I'm prioritizing time with him and shutting some other things down. I need him. I'm asking him to sustain it very boldly. I'm not like, hey, God, could you help me out here? I'm like, Lord, I believe and I expect that you will sustain this while I'm trying to get everything together behind the scenes. So what are you asking God to do here? So these are just some questions, ladies, that I want you to be thinking about in the seasons that you're in this business, because I can see things. I can see that we're all in different places. We all have different priorities, but I have to believe that even if our coach purposes are all different, all of our coach purposes should be calling us to some level of action. It just whether that action is to keep committed to your health journey and be there if people need help along the way and they come to you, or if the action is, no, I'm calling you to go to them like Jesus went to Zacchaeus. He didn't just wait for Zacchaeus to come down on his own and be like, Jesus, can you come to my house? No, Jesus initiated the encounter because Jesus was on a mission to seek and save the lost, not like wait for the lost to come to him so he can save them. He sought them out. So not every coach is a seeker, and so that's okay. I'm not asking you to be a seeker, but if you are called to be a seeker, okay, then are you seeking people? Seeking people is not salesy. Was Jesus being salesy? Trying to sell him salvation? Are we like, wow, Jesus, you really sold me that salvation. Like, how dare you? No. Zacchaeus was desperate he didn't even know what he needed until he saw Jesus. I don't think he knew. There was just this man walking around. Something drew him. He knew he was lacking something. He just couldn't pinpoint what. But Jesus took time in the midst of a very busy schedule to pause, to go into his house, to have a genuine encounter with him. And Zacchaeus saw what he was lacking, and Jesus said, I have it. Why are we any different? We're no different. And once we forget the purpose of why we're here, to seek the woman that is broken, that is lost, that is stuck in the yo-yo, that has completely torn herself apart in her mind, who is she? Who are you seeking, and why are you seeking her? And then what do you hope to achieve? So do you see, like, I'm getting fired up because I don't know how I lost this along the way. I got so caught up gazing at things I shouldn't be gazing at that I forgot my unique purpose as a Beachbody coach. And I almost gave it up to do something that this is something Sandra Stanley said. She said, don't give up what is so uniquely given to you to do something anybody else can do. I was almost willing to give up a platform that was so uniquely given to me by the Lord. There's 400,000 Beachbody coaches, but my vision and my purpose that he's given me is so unique. What was I thinking? But our flesh gets in the way. And so all I want for you to do is to just double check your purpose and your vision. I think we always say, yeah, I have a vision. But when I see how quickly all of us get tripped up by things, I'm like, well, if we had a vision, this wouldn't be so easy. We wouldn't get shaken this easy. James had us write, how would things be different? And I just wrote a few words. I just said, I would be unshakable. That's the word I'm personally pursuing with Jesus. I want to be unshakable here. I feel like I've been shaken left and right all year, like a leaf in a storm, just tired of it. I want to be unshakable, unmovable, where Satan can mess with me, people can disapprove, pressures can be all around me, but I'm unshakable. Because I understand that my purpose is his purpose. And if he's called me, he's going to keep equipping me and enabling me and empowering me to do it. And even when I'm weak, he is strong. And so it's going to be fine. Right? So I know it's a lot. It's 9:21. I'm going to stop here. But this is all I've got for you tonight. I'm not asking you to share with me your coach purpose statement. I would love it if you did, because I think that again would allow me to walk with you better on a one-on-one mentorship level if I know why he's called you. Now I understand why the Success Club tracker has your why every single time. I got annoyed and I stopped answering it. That should have been my first hint. Seriously. So I stopped. I was like, I'm just going to use this box for like business conversations. There's a reason Beachbody did that. Because once you forget it, you're a leaf. You're a leaf. You're going to get shaken. So I love y'all. Thank you for being patient with me this year. I'm not out of it, but I'm awake and I'm paying attention and I'm taking time to shut things down to figure this out with God so that I'm unmovable when I'm full out back. I'm still here behind the scenes. You can talk to me. You can schedule calls with me. None of that has changed. I'm just not in people's faces. And so I think it's actually kind of cool because my team and the studio get to see me now, like more than anybody else. I think it's a special season that we're in and I'm embracing it and I'm loving it. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So this is at this point, if you're catching the replay, that's the end of like my personal chats, but I do want to give 15 minutes or so to those here. If you can relate to anything I've shared, if this is an area that's been a struggle, if there's something that you've been personally wrestling with, or if you just simply have a question for your business, like this can also be very simple Q&A. It's huddle time. You guys can encourage each other. I don't have to answer everything, but I just want to open this time to you. So I'm going to keep the recording going. If you're on the other side of the screen, you can decide if you want to stay. So I'm going to unmute everybody just so it's a fluid conversation time. I forget how to do that. Wait for it. Yes. Okay. Everybody's unmuted. So talk to me, friends. How are we? Is this relevant? Are you struggling? Can I pray for anything specifically? And I'm going to give you now a few minutes of awkward silence until somebody answers. Oh, good. Somebody's laughing.
I'll just say something. I didn't know how much I needed this. And you sharing and opening up the way that you have, I got chills. And I think what struck me the most was when you asked, why haven't you quit yet? Why? Because I've had so many reasons to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to. And it would be so easy to just do it because why? Why not? So that really shook me. And I was just like, why haven't I? Life is crazy and things change and nothing is ever what you plan it to be, how you think it's going to be. And new things come up that you just didn't know were in your future. And this is great because now I'm just even though all of this is going on, I'm still here for a reason because I've been called for a reason. So am I just going to keep putting that aside? Or am I going to rise up and say, okay, the way I'll go about it may not look the way I thought I would do it or how I thought I would do it, but I can still do it. So thank you.
I love you so much. Anybody else so excited for Summit? I'm just excited because I can't wait to hug you. It's been far too long. I just want to hug everybody. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think I think sometimes we just have such a cookie cutter approach to this business. And so I do want you to sit down and just say, what is my purpose? But then also, what is my current season? It's okay to have a vision and then it's okay to have an overarching vision and then understand that your goals have to match your season. So this is my vision. This is my purpose. This is my coach purpose. This is where I'm called and why I'm called and why I haven't quit. And with this vision, Jesus could say, I'm here to seek and save the lost. But do you know that within that vision, he took many times to unplug and rest? There were many times that he could have done more, but he did less and he prayed more. So different seasons call for different intensities in your business. God is not asking you to hustle and go 24/7 all the time. Right now, he's asking me to slow it way down because my foundation is not right. And so that's his protection for me. That's because he loves me. That's like me telling Luca, we need to take your car away for a week because what's an important part of a car? It's broken. Because I love you, I can't let you drive. He's going to get mad and throw a fit and be like, you're so unfair, which is all the things I did to God. But at the end of the day, it's because he cares. So in the season you're in, your goals and the capacity of which you work with is different, but that doesn't mean it's a different vision, just a different pace of living the vision. So I hope that helps you as you sit down and write down your coach purpose statement or mission statement. You can still have a big one, but then you have to say, in my season, how can I live this out? That's it.
Okay, I'll go.
Sure.
So as you guys know, I attended Narrow with Karen, and hold on, I'm trying to get something off my screen. Okay, there we go. So I attended Narrow with Karen, and can I just say that I would echo Karen's sentiments in saying that if you can go next year, go. I actually took off work today. I told Karen on the car ride back from the airport last night, I'm calling off work today. I'm calling off work because I just felt God calling me to stay home and process everything, all the things. I think Karen, Patrice, Alicia, and I came back from Narrow. I mean, I can't speak for others, but just changed, convicted, not shame, because God does not shame anyone, but just changed, convicted. And I just need, as an introvert, I just need time to process everything. The reason why it's so dark right now is because literally I'm still in my PJs. I did not shower today. I feel like in the Bible, when they talk about being in sackcloth and like mourning, this is what Laura was doing today. I in my PJs all day. I haven't even brushed my teeth. I mean, ladies, it is so real right now. I'm so gross. You do not want to be near me. But I just felt, and again, I did the same thing. I shut off all social media. I posted something on Instagram. I posted something on Facebook. Like, it was like a BRB. I'll be right back. But for now, I'm taking a break from social media and focusing and being more present in my life. And I have life in big, bold, big letters, because what gives life but Jesus? Knowing that I need to seek him first and to make him known, which is what Narrow really was all about. It's about seeking God and all that we do and making him known, and not just relevant to Beachbody, but just so many different areas of my life. I came back, I don't even know, with like 4 or 5 books, and I think I've started every one of them today. Just journaling, just pouring out my heart to God, and just really, if you can please make Narrow next year, please, please, please. Asheville, North Carolina is a place that I think I fell in love with. I always considered myself a beach girl, but man, the mountains were calling my name this weekend. And just really drawing closer to God. Karen and I were able to, I think, connect so much on a deeper level. We live 2 minutes apart from each other. We never see each other. We literally live within like running distance of each other. We never see each other. But just being able to spend that time with like-minded women, and again, just getting convicted but not shamed, and just really prioritizing, thinking about things. So yeah, I just I thank Karen for the invitation to go. I'm thankful for the encouragement that she shared over the weekend, and just allowing us to be vulnerable and real with each other, and just being able to encourage one another. Karen needs encouragement and support just like we all do, even though we may be in different seasons and we may have different goals and visions. Even as a leader, I want to find ways that I can, maybe it's just praying for her right now, but being able to encourage her as a leader. I mean, not that I have anything like great to say right now, but just, hey, thank you. Thank you for being the leader of this team. Thank you for encouraging us when we're down. And thank you for the gifts that she has been given to do what she is able to do, because not everybody can do this. So
thanks. I do need encouragement. I am not immune to struggle. Please know that. Not at all. I actually sent Michelle a text. It's very similar. I was like, seeing the impact of Narrow, I can only imagine the warfare you must experience on a daily basis. And I committed to praying for her very intentionally, just moving forward, because it was a very different kind of an event and incredible. So, yeah, it's worth coming to for sure. It's probably just as expensive as Beachbody, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a wonderful investment in every part of your life.
And we had some great laughs over the weekend. It wasn't all like, I don't want everybody to think it was all like serious.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like, yeah, we had fun. We didn't cry the whole time.
No, we did not all cry the whole time.
No, it was good.
Great fun, but yeah, it'd be great if you all could come with next year.
For sure. Beth and Kat, how are you guys?
Well, I just want to say that I'm just feeling like we may all be in our own seasons, but it seems like we're all the same. Like, I feel like that we're all here because we're supposed to be together. Like, I feel like what you're saying, we all needed to hear, no matter where we are, where we live, what stage we're in. I don't know. It's just, whenever I need to hear something, it seems like we get together and I hear it. So I just want to thank you for that, because I needed this today too, because I was starting to feel like, I miss Instagram story queen now, and I posted one time today.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not doing it. I have nothing, I don't feel it, and I'm not going to force it.
Yep,
So
exactly.
I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just strange not strange, but it's just, and you brought it up. I mean, that's exactly what this was about, and it was exactly what I needed. So.
You are not alone. One of the things I am definitely intending to come back to stories with is I will never post for the sake of posting again.
Mm-hmm.
If all I ever do moving forward is 3 stories a day, that's what I do. I only want to post when it's like an overflow. Do you know when it's just like, I don't have to spend 20 minutes on this story. Like, it's just like a natural overall. It doesn't compromise my family time. It's just there. That's where I was like, there's a problem here.
Right.
This is like, it's routine and it's habit. But just because it's habit doesn't mean it's a good thing, right? I have Alana's voice in my head. Is it habit or is it hunger? Like, am I posting for the sake of posting because it's a habit? Or am I posting because I feel led to, and it was prayerfully done? Even if it was a workout picture. Like,
mm-hmm.
These could all be prayerfully done. And so it was, it's good. So you're not alone. And I'm so thankful that wherever you are, this encouraged you. Again, no one is immune to discouragement or even this kind of thing. And we just need to talk to each other. I say this every time we have like a heart-to-heart team call. I'm like, please talk to me. Let me know where you are. Like Michelle says this all the time, that loneliness is a choice. Loneliness is a choice. So if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling like you're isolated, that is a choice. So that's why I was like, I miss my team. I miss seeing your faces. I don't have to keep choosing isolation. I can just let you guys in, because you guys aren't just my team of coaches. You are my family. Not a lot of people know what's happening with me right now, and they don't need to, but you guys are my inner circle. And so my inner circle does need to know, because then we know how to pray for each other. And so, yeah. Beth.
Well, I am an emotional wreck.
You can totally let it out, please. It's fine.
Sorry.
I can't even hug you, which makes this horrible. But I am.
Give me a second.
You're fine.
I also needed to hear this, and I think that's why I'm crying. I don't know what I had in my mind when I thought I'm gonna have a baby and it's just gonna continue. It's been extremely difficult, and I am a go-getter. Like, I don't do things half-heartedly, and so I feel like that's what I'm doing currently, like having to take a step way, way, way back. Mm-hmm. And I hate that, because it's just not what I'm used to. But God has really been teaching me like that I need to be a mom first. Mm-hmm. And I'm an emotional wreck because I don't get any sleep. And things are hard. He's super fussy right now. The last couple of weeks has been extremely difficult. And so I can be on Instagram stories like for 2 seconds, and then like I have to let it go because like I just can't. And with the newest iPhone update, I have recorded my workouts, mm-hmm. but they made them extremely difficult to now edit them how I had been. And so I haven't even been sharing anything because I don't have time.
Yep.
So I've had to let that go. And so I feel like I'm in good company here, yeah. Having to let some of those things go. But I think also there's a lesson in that for myself that, because before it was just me and my husband and I didn't have anyone else to take care of. And so I could have all the time in the world to do those things. And now my focus has shifted. And so,
I have got to rework how I do this business, and I know things will get better and he will start sleeping. And I really can't complain a lot about it. It's just hyper focused right now, I guess, because I'm emotional still. My hormones are crazy, and the lack of sleep is crazy too. But so yeah, I don't even know where I'm headed. I don't even know what my goals are.
No, I don't care about goals, Beth. I'm not asking you to write down goals. I'm asking you to know your vision. And I honestly think for what you just shared and for the season you're in, I think you need to write down a vision for your family before you even write down a vision for Beachbody. Because I need you to understand, you're not just a go-getter. You're a go-giver. I talked about this on our Facebook page. You give. And God is asking you now to be a go-giver for your son. So you're still one. But he's saying, hey, this child, this is a very short season. It feels like a million years. But this is, it is a very brief season where we do give in ways you'll never give. You give of your sleep, you give of your time, you give of your milk, you give of your body, you're constantly making sacrifices to keep this little one alive. And eventually it's to train them and disciple them and all these things. So friends, you are still a go-giver. That nature in you, God wants to use that part of your personality. You've just got to shift perspective and say, my family will get the first fruits of my go-giving nature. And Beachbody will get my leftovers. And friends, when I say your leftovers, because I wrote that in my journal this morning, that right now my business and social media is getting leftovers. It doesn't mean it's getting crap. That's not what I'm saying. It's still getting my time, but it's really more in social media that's getting my leftovers. But it's just, we're in different seasons. I think genuinely for you though, Beachbody needs to be the oh, God gave me 30 minutes today. Awesome. This is what I can do. Whereas in the season, until there's some structure with naps and you've got some predictability, while you have no predictability, you've got to simply get on your knees each morning and say, Jesus, my family gets my first fruits of my givingness. And should you bless me with any pockets today for Beachbody, I pray that you give me the energy. I pray that you give me the stamina and the heart to give what I've got left there, and then help me just to let it go. Because I firmly believe that God, I have heard enough stories from other Christian Beachbody coaches who have been in similar seasons, and God showed off in ways that make no logical sense. Where people say, how did you succeed? And they're like, oh, I honored my family first. So I'm just encouraging you, there will come a time again where Beachbody can get a predictable, normal business hours, right? But there's a reason why people go on maternity leave. Even Caroline Foster, it's normal to go through a transition period as a mom. Give yourself leave and explain it to your current clients. It's okay to be in a season where you do no invites. It's okay to be in a season where right now it's just simply sharing when I have the ability to share, as long as it doesn't take away my energy. And I feel like you have probably so many natural conversations, as is because of this sweet little boy, that you just keep on engaging where you can. And like I said, he will open up doors for you that you don't even know yet, like play dates and all that. It's just going to open a lot of things in the future. So I just want to encourage you. You don't need to be setting goals, but I still want you to have a vision statement for your family, to give you a new perspective for how you are to serve them. And I know that you're serving them, but not without, I'm saying this because I felt this. He's not a burden. I know you know this, but hear me, because I saw Luca as a burden for a long time. Not a blessing. He was in my way because I'm a go-getter. I delayed having a child for 3 years because I did not want to die to myself to this person. And there are still days where I have a hard time with this, right? And so he's going to use him to soften you, to see the parts of you that he wants to also change, like God wants to change in you, but also just to simply remind you that it's a gift.
It doesn't mean it's not hard. You can wrestle through it and struggle in it. Like it's fine. But like when we compare it to business, Beachbody has instant results and you feel like you're doing something. This person, this babies are the most sinful people out there because they don't know that there's other people other than them. So they're very selfish. You guys laugh, but y'all know it's true. Like, you are so incredibly sinful. Like, do you not know that I have needs and of my own? But like, it feels like you give, and you get nothing. Nothing at all. And so it feels like you're not productive. But wow, like, it is the most productive, meaningful work you will ever do. You will ever do. And so it's okay to say, hey, Beachbody, I know I'm still called here. I still have a big vision. But right now my goal is to just like take care of my health. like really that might just be it. Like accountability for my own journey. And that is my only goal. And to love on the sisters who've said yes as much as I can. And that's it right now. I bet it can still align with your vision. I bet it still does. And in a couple months, you may say, I can actually set some more tangible goals this month. I can step out. So you're not failing. I know as a mom, we're really hard on ourselves and we feel like we're failing in every possible area. I can't calm my baby down. My business isn't growing. I can't hit my goal. Like, just watch where Satan tries to trap you in this mentality, because it's a very paralyzing one. And I've been in it enough. So I don't know if anybody else has words of encouragement there, but you're not alone.
I think what I'll just have to say to Beth is like, you're not alone, and allow yourself to feel it, let it out. I feel like, I mean, I don't know if when I was in your season, I remember having this perception and this idea of what motherhood was going to be like, what caring for a newborn was going to be like. And it's hard. And you can think it's hard when you're pregnant, and you can be like, I'm ready to not sleep, and I'm ready to take care of a baby, and I'm ready. And and you wanted that baby and love that baby so much, but it does not take away that it's so hard and it's okay. And it does not make you a bad person or a bad mom to say, this is hard. And I just need to feel it out, and I need to let him cry and walk away. And I need to make the choices that are okay for me right now, because it's going to make me better to then be able to take care of him. So like, allow yourself to feel it, and it's hard, and reach out to your support system, whoever it may be, whether it's your husband, it may not be your husband, and that's okay. Reach out to other people that have been in similar situation. And when you were pregnant, you showed up 1,000%, and it's okay to just allow yourself to be Beth and to be a mom, and everything else will fall into place. Because you need to take care of yourself, and you can't take care of him unless you take care of yourself. And you can't take care of your business unless you take care of yourself, of him and your husband and your life. So don't feel guilty, and know that there's, like Karen said, there's a season for everything. So the season right now is where Beachbody gets your leftovers, which you and your work ethic and the type of person you are, your leftovers are amazing. And that's okay. Your leftovers are more than a lot of people could ever give 100% of, because that's just who you are. So even though it doesn't feel like it's enough, it really is. So just kind of live through it. You only get this once in a lifetime, of you and doing all the connection and all of the things. And as seasons, it'll get better, and then it'll get hard again, and it'll get better, and that's just life. But take care of you, and Beachbody will get your leftovers, and do know that your leftovers are more than enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God honors obedience, and he honors priorities that are done right, done his way. And so when you look at what are God's top priorities, just commit to those. And if ever you start to clock in and it's coming from a place of overwhelm, stop. And I feel like I'm going to sound like John Christ. Check your heart. Check your heart. But like for real, if it's not from a place of overflow, and I know it sounds kind of insane to have any level of overflow as a new mom, but I'm just saying a place of like willingness.
Right.
Because Michelle said willingness always will trump talent. So you don't need to feel the most talented or the most creative, but if your heart is willing, God will use you. So save Beachbody time for when your heart is willing, not when your heart is overwhelmed. That way, because I feel like it's almost going to create a negative feeling now with Beachbody. Like we don't want that. We want to prevent a habit that creates this dread because you've been so used to working from a place of overwhelm. So, and that's kind of literally where I am. I was starting a dread story. I was like, this is a problem. I need to like, so yeah. And so anyway, encourage each other behind the scenes, ladies. Now you got to hear a little bit of everybody's story. And so we are here as a team. I know our team page is a little bit quieter these days, but it's always a safe space for you guys to share if you need a prayer request or if there's something going on. The right people will see it and will comment and reach out. I believe that. So just know there's always a place there. And all right, I will go ahead and close this up in prayer because I want to respect your time. And if there's, if anybody feels like they need like a second call with me, once you've got nailed down your purpose statement or mission statement or needing some help, please tell me. I leave Friday for a trip with Graham till Tuesday. So I've got till Thursday. Then I disappear again. And so, yeah, I'm here though for you guys always. And so let's pray. God, thank you so much for who you are and your example of a clear purpose statement and mission statement, and for seeking us so persistently and passionately and relentlessly. You are the best example of seeking with pure motives, with godly motives. And Lord, we just acknowledge that everybody here has some level of overwhelm in their lives. You see everything. We don't know everything that's happening, but you see where there may be some highs and lows, pain, joy. You see the reality of circumstances, and you're with every sister right now. I just believe that. I believe you're holding her in moments where she maybe has believed the lie that you're distant. Help her remember that you are not distant. You are right there. She's never alone. She's never navigating anything by herself, that she can simply call upon you and posture her heart to actually look for you, because you promise that when we seek you, we will find you. So God, help us just to start building our lives on your promises, because trying to build it on our opinion or our dreams is just creating more of a mess. And so I do pray over our Beachbody businesses very boldly and specifically tonight. I know you've called Team Race to Serve to a higher purpose here. And I know that every woman you've brought on this team, no matter her personal vision and goals, she matters here, and she's another firefly that shines bright. And I know, God, that you just want to keep uniting us so we can be a lighthouse, and the light is strong and clear. And so I just pray that you would help each sister rise up to the vision and mission you have for her, even if it's not one she expected would be her calling here, and that you would equip her and show her how to make wise goals and to define success in a way that is honorable to you and keeps her on track, and knowing how to keep ensuring that you're the foundation of her business, and that her contentment, her security, her worth, her value, she never looks for those things in this business. She always finds them in you, and that's what keeps her so unshakable and immovable here. So we love you. We pray for sleep tonight for every person, including Beth, for actual sleep, stretches of sleep, and that you would wake up tomorrow, whether we've had 8 hours or 3 hours, refreshed, because when the spirit is willing, even if the flesh is weak, we're just on fire for you. And that's what we really want. We love you so much. Amen. All right. Love you, ladies. Beth, stay on. Just have 2 quick things for you. But everybody else, I'll see you later.